Anybody else play Sparking Zero today? Because I really did not want to get off of it to make this video, but I knew I had to tell you guys my first initial thoughts of the game and all it has, or at least all the features that I was able to get to, because this thing is packed with features. I mean, you guys can see right here, me and the boys, my boys, we were playing the game, we couldn't get off, we were taking turns, and it is quite extensive, I'll tell you right now. It is really deep with its features, and there's just a lot going on.
I went through a lot of pain and suffering because of this.
Oh, but it was worth it.
So as soon as you jump into the game, you get to this main menu, which is the Capsule Corporation balcony, Bulma's house, and I mean, what's up, Beerus? Didn't know you were chill like that. They're all just hanging out, and at this point, I found the first awesome feature, and that is, as you swipe to go to a different menu, Goku actually goes to that location. Exactly what they were talking about when they said immersion. They were explaining immersion and letting us know exactly how it was going to work and how it was going to be implemented. It's not just in the character select screen, where when you select the character, yeah, you're on the actual battlefield already, but it's in the main menu where you're literally chilling at all Goku's favorite spots. And when you click certain menu items, it zooms into certain characters and whatever they're holding or Whisa's staff. It's just extremely interactive and something that I've never seen in any other Dragon Ball game. And right off the rip, I mean, once you get used to the constant whooshing, if you're going through the menu really fast, trying to get to where you need to go, it's constantly whooshing because it's how fast Goku's moving. Once you get used to that, it honestly is really, really cool. And it gives you a lot of information right up front as to what kind of game is this going to be, and it's quite literally a love letter to all things Dragon Ball.
He was special.
Now, I guess there are certain clothes, features, money, things like that you can use Shenron to wish for. I got a few wishes. I think I got 2 wishes right off the bat from regular Shenron and Super Shenron, just because I pre-ordered the game. So I had to go and check it out to see exactly who I would get or what I could do. And it's exactly like it was back in Dragon Ball. I think the one that I remember this feature, I don't remember this feature being on Budokai Tenkaichi 3, but I do remember Xenoverse, when you had to find all the Dragon Balls on the map. Either way, I clicked on Shenron, and the first thing that comes up is, we gotta get the cosmetics. The cosmetics is where it's at, and that's exactly what I ended up doing. Clicked on cosmetics, and the ones that I had options to choose from when it came to wishes, I chose one of the most goated outfits in all of Dragon Ball, Goku's original super outfit, which to me should have been the one that he's still in today, but that's a conversation for another time. Once I hit up Super Shenron, it gave me the option to get the GOAT, which I didn't realize I didn't have. I assumed he was part of the roster already when I opened up the game, but I'm happy that I do have him because he looks good, and I hope he plays as good as he looks. Let's jump into a match. So immediately, even though right off the rip, before you even get to the intro page, the intro trailer to the game, it asks you to kind of run around with Vegeta. You're doing like a little sparring match with him, and it gives you, and it's basically a tutorial on the actual game and the movement, the attacks, blocks, all that stuff. I'm pretty sure I did it pretty good in the tutorial, but I was also really excited and awestricken to be alive to be able to witness Budokai Tenkaichi 4, so I didn't remember any of it, and the AI completely dog-walked me. I was absolute garbo. Like, yeah, I lost with Goku Black, my favorite character. I played a little bit with 1v1. 1v1s are relatively quick. Like, I would say you could probably finish a 1v1 in like 3 minutes maybe. Weirdly enough, when you have full 5v5 in the game, it just takes an eternity. It's about 15 minutes. It's almost like the average Fortnite match, where you will take a lot longer because you're just not sticking around with one character. That's something that I personally, in Budokai Tenkaichi 3, I kind of went through the roster. If I picked 5 characters, I would use them each until they died. But in here, I will use them to give my guy a break. Because if I have a guy that's not pulling it through, he's not doing well, he's losing at every turn, and then I have a fresh character that I can bring, to me, I don't know if it's just a mental thing, but I'm like, let's bring this guy in. I think he's going to be the relief that we need, and it just gives my campaign a new wind, this fight new wind, and it was fun. I played with certain characters here. Jiren was a lot of fun. Topo, but in his destroyer form, was just completely overpowered when it came to some of his finisher attacks. But the actual fighting from Topo was a little bit slow. I think when it comes to movement in the game, it is a lot of fun. It is really dynamic, but it is also a little hard to get right. So the fighting itself is pretty solid, but the flying around and trying to move, it's hard because it's not like Xenoverse and it's not like anything else we've had. It is basically you're taking control of an F-16 fighter plane, and it's flying across the map, and you're trying to get to your target and make sure you deal the most amount of damage. But it's hard because he's moving so fast, and that's kind of the difficulty at first. But it does get a lot easier. Some of the moves, the charge moves, I mean, you got to be right next to these guys, or else you go flying across the map to the other side of it, because the charge move that you're trying to do, you'll just run right past them. Then if you have, say, a Kamehameha or something like that, I would definitely just advise to be up close. See the white in your opponent's eyes, grab them by the belt. Same thing that boxers do. You gotta stay close when it comes to those finishers. Now, I was starting to get pretty good, feeling pretty confident about myself in some of these fights, so I decided to jump into the story mode, and that is where, I mean, to me, I was the least excited about, mainly because I knew at some point we'd have to start with Goku, and I felt like it would be weird if we didn't, but Goku's story I've done a million times before, so I started it, but I was really excited when I could leave Piccolo behind and choose this what if, oh, I'll just leave Piccolo behind and have Krillin follow me. And I thought that would change the story pretty drastically, so I had Krillin with me in the fight, but he never jumped in, he never helped me, he left me high and dry. I did all that heavy lifting on my own. Once it got to the point where we were supposed to kill Raditz, Piccolo just comes back, and I guess he was following me the whole time, so yeah, he jumped in to help. So I don't know if that's gonna be the case with all these what ifs. I just started the game, first impressions, but yeah, it just didn't change anything in the story too much besides me fighting alone and not with Piccolo. But you don't have to go through Goku's story. That's just what I did because of tradition, I guess. But there are other stories, other points of views you can start with, including villain point of views, and I think that would probably be the most interesting portion of it. I feel like that's where I would 100% jump into the story first. But I do like how anything you do in this game, whether it is fighting customs, fighting tournament, fighting the story, as long as you're using characters, you can basically amp up your experience with that character, which kind of gives you like little achievements that kind of remind me of like Dokkan or Legends or something. And you also get Zenny, which I haven't spent yet, but it's cool to have some sort of reward for just fighting. And the fact that it's either like your stats, and then just little medals of which characters you're using, what moves you're using, what you're comfortable with, and then Zenny as well. To me, thank you Sparking Zero for giving me those rewards, those little jewels, because I definitely like them. I like them a little bit too much. Like, it's very gacha gamey how much I like them, but it definitely makes me want to go back and play more, which I'm assuming is all part of the plan. But I was feeling confident at this point, and I knew that I've been wanting to fight against somebody. Well, so I decided just to go into ranked, and boy, when you are limited, yeah, you are limited. When it comes to the limitations of ranked and how many people you have on a team, it is very limited because of this point system, so I could only muster 3 characters, which I thought would have been fine because it's some of my favorite characters, so I was like, alright, I'm going to be fine, it'll be great. And my opponent, I think he must have only gotten 2 because I only seen him use these 2, Kale and Caulifla, and oh boy, when I tell you that, yeah, I'm not ready for ranked or online play yet. I need to practice and train more. I need to go back into the hyperbolic time chamber, go back to Beerus's planet, or train with Mirrors because, yeah, I was completely stomped out by this guy. This guy knew exactly how to use Kale and Caulifla in unison. I don't know who this guy is, but this is the last time I badmouth those two female Saiyans at all for any sort of time. You know what? We don't need training and hardship for the Super Saiyan transformation. Tingly feelings is fine because I was completely embarrassed here by how good this guy had become at the characters he was playing, because what he did was he kind of did exactly what I told you guys. You fight with one character for a little bit, then you fight with another one, but he knew exactly when and where to pull out to use Kale and Caulifla at their maximum efficiency. But before I could kill one, trust me, I was trying to at least kill one, because the next thing he was going to do was really annoying, is that he fused. Now, this is the one match that you see here that I'm fighting him in, but I actually fought him again on a rematch, and I got closer to beating him this time, but still didn't beat him. But he fused, and once you fuse, that character actually gets buffs, and the fusion character, or the transformation, say you're base and you transform, you will get buffs in that transformation as opposed to coming in with that transformation right off the get. And yeah, with those buffs in Kefla, and with that fusion of Kefla and the transformation to Super Saiyan, it was impossibly hard to be able to face off against this character. And this guy, I mean, he completely beat me, and it was fair and square, and I won't hold any grudges. But yeah, guys, that's my first impression on the game. Let me know if you guys are playing the game right now, or what your impressions are on the game. If you played it already, let me know in the comment section below. Take it easy, guys.